Moses began his life in the heart of the world's most powerful empire. Acts 7:22 reminds us that he was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and mighty in words. He possessed every academic advantage, every military skill, and every royal privilege imaginable. Yet, human wisdom and Egyptian education were not enough to prepare him for a divine calling. In his youth, Moses saw the suffering of his people and tried to fix it in his own strength. He relied on his status as a prince and his physical power to strike down an oppressor. This impulsive act of justice resulted in a hidden body in the sand and a heart full of fear. He learned the hard way that you cannot fulfill a spiritual purpose using only worldly methods. When Pharaoh discovered his secret, Moses was forced to flee for his life into the vast wilderness. Exodus 2:15 tells us he escaped to the land of Midian, leaving his golden palace behind forever. In a single moment, the mighty prince became a fugitive with no title and no home. This was not the end of his story, but the beginning of his true education in the desert. For the next 40 years, Moses lived in the quiet obscurity of the Midianite pastures. The man who was once strong in speech was now surrounded by the silence of the mountains. He went from commanding servants to serving sheep, learning the slow rhythm of the wilderness. God was taking the pride of Egypt out of him to make room for a different kind of strength. Waiting is often the hardest part of the leadership process for those of us who want results now. Moses spent 4 decades in the middle, away from the spotlight and the applause of men. He learned that God is never in a hurry when he is building a character that must last. Your current season of waiting is not wasted time. It is weight training for the destiny ahead. At the age of 80, the silence of the desert was finally broken by the voice of the Creator. Exodus 3:2 describes the angel of the Lord appearing in a flame of fire from within a bush. Moses saw a fire that burned but did not consume, a sign of God's sustaining and holy power. He was commanded to take off his sandals because the ground of his struggle had become holy ground. When God called him to return to Egypt, Moses did not feel like the mighty man he once was. He looked at his past failures and his aging voice and asked, "Who am I to go?" In Exodus 4:10, he confessed that he was slow of speech and tongue, feeling completely unqualified for the task. The desert had stripped away his ego, leaving him with nothing but his need for God. God did not need Moses' Egyptian eloquence. He needed a man who knew how to depend on him. He reminded Moses that the one who made the mouth is the one who provides the words. 2 Corinthians 12:9 promises that God's grace is sufficient and his power is made perfect in our weakness. Your perceived inadequacies are actually the spaces where divine strength can finally operate through you. Moses returned to Egypt not as a prince with an army, but as a shepherd with a staff. Hebrews 11:27 says he persevered because he saw him who is invisible rather than fearing the king. He stood before the most powerful ruler on earth and demanded freedom for a people who had no power. His courage did not come from his own confidence, but from the authority of the one who sent him. As a leader, Moses had to carry the physical and emotional burdens of a nation in transition. When the people were trapped at the Red Sea, he stood firm and told them to watch for the Lord's deliverance. He faced constant grumbling, rebellion, and fear from those he was trying to save from slavery. True leadership is staying faithful to the people even when they are not faithful to the vision. Even the great Moses made mistakes during his time as a leader in the wilderness. He let his anger get the better of him and struck the rock when he was told to speak to it. These moments remind us that even our heroes are human and that leadership requires constant grace. God still used Moses effectively because his heart remained turned toward the well-being of the people. Like Moses, you may have spent years gathering the wisdom of Egypt through your education and career. You may also be currently sitting in a Midian season, feeling like your talents are being ignored or forgotten. Do not despise the silence or the small tasks you have been given to handle today. These are the very tools God will use to forge you into the leader you were meant to be. If you are carrying a heavy burden today, know that you are in good company with the leaders of old. The God of Moses is still the God who goes before you and promises never to leave or forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:8 is a promise for your current situation just as much as it was for the Israelites. Your struggle is creating a script that will one day encourage and inspire thousands of others. It is time to take off your sandals and recognize that your life is currently on holy ground. The wisdom of Egypt gave you skills, but the fire of the desert will give you your soul. Step forward with the staff that is already in your hand and trust that the sea will part. Your destiny is not behind you in the palace, but ahead of you in the promise.